Well, good evening campers. Today's cheeky little wild camp is parked up the Fishguard end of Pembrokeshire. I've not walked this particular bit before, but I thought I'd give it a go. I walked a little way, not too far. I'm just going to find a pitch, find a spot, and set my tent up and see how it goes. Bought the 4-season tent for me today. It's a tent I'm going to be using on the Cape Wrath, but possibly not on the coast to coast. But still getting used to that one, so good pitching practice. Wind forecast for tonight, could be gusting up to 30. No sign of that yet, but I've got the right tent for the job if it does. Just doing a little bit of exploring really at the moment. Hopefully you can hear the sound all right. Yeah, some good little spots tucked away already. For stealth wild camping, but I'll know where I'm going to pitch when I see it. So I've just been exploring this point over here. There's a couple of, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there's a needle sort of point and a building there. Not sure what that building is. If anybody knows, let me know. But I didn't go right down to them, but they look like there might be some flat pitches up there, and I guess by the local standards they were relatively flat, but views weren't fantastic, so we walk on, see what I can find up here. I'm probably going to need to stop soon because I'm going to need to have some food. I don't like to eat too late. Never does me any good if I eat too late. If I've walked 20 miles, that's a different matter. I can eat right up until I sleep. I haven't walked 20 miles, so yeah, I'll carry on and let's see what I can find. Right, I've been exploring for a bit. I'm just coming up to Mount Doom now. I'm praying that there's a nice little flat spot on the top, you know, old defensive position or something. We'll see how that works out. But I've just been off piste, and that didn't lead to anywhere. Just wetter and boggier ground, so it's a no from me on that one. So let's see what Mount Doom has to hold. At least it'll give me a good vantage point. I passed the spot that was okay, but I thought I'd press on, see what I can find. It looks like Mount Doom has come up trumps. I've found a relatively flat spot up here. The grass is quite long, but that's no problem. This bit here, I think I can get pitched up in. I've just had to take part in some traditional Welsh slug throwing because it is slug central in Wales at the moment. Never mind having a sheep as a national animal symbol. If it is, it should be the slug, because they are everywhere. It doesn't matter where you stop, there are slugs everywhere. I've got my Leatherman's coming in quite handy for this to pick them up and launch them out of the way, so I've got a few more to do, but yeah, so when I pitched up, I'll bring you back. Well then, let's be honest, you didn't think I was going to get this pitched up here, did you? I could almost hear the good luck with that in unison from the one person watching and his dog. But yeah, here I am, I'm on Mount Doom. I've got pitched up now, I've got nice 360 views. Still got the usual hazy smog above me. Some sun would be nice, but that hasn't been here since summer 2023, so no chance of that arriving. But it's not raining. I've evicted about 100 slugs, and now I can sort of set up and get my dinner on the go. Right, welcome back. Got my brew kit all set up, or my cooker all set up. Decided to go with the gas this time. I've been doing some experiments with gas and alcohol stoves, and gas is definitely more efficient, and I worked out that I can carry a lighter load. So for instance, doing the Cape Wrath, where I have to assume that I'm going to be cooking every night, even though I'm probably not, I have to assume that. Two of these 240 gram gas canisters will do me for the whole trip. So, you know, I don't mind carrying two of them straight away, and then, you know, getting rid of one as I get through that. I'll definitely get through one, and I should have enough gas left over. But I wanted extra gas because I'm going to be doing strip washes and stuff as well. I don't like to go minging for, you know, days on end. I know some people will, but it's not for me. So I like to boil up a bit of water, and I've got a system where I can just clean myself every day, so I need the extra gas for that, unless I can get washed in some local water, but you know, using local water. But it's quite nice to have a warm strip wash. We had a pretty crappy day. So anyway, so tonight's meal, so I've never actually eaten I've never actually tried one of these. I mean, it can't be as bad as 10-year-old army ration packs, and I have obviously had dry rations before, but this is what I'm going to be taking on. I'll take a few of these on the coast to coast. I'll definitely be loading up with these on the Cape Wrath, and I want to see how filling they are, because I want to know how much I'm going to need to carry, and whether I need to go for the larger packs or whether this size will do. I can generally, I can work to 2,000 calories a day, and I know I'm going to lose weight, and that's good because I need to lose a bit of timber anyway. Yeah, so I'll just see how filling they are. But just to supplement that, I've got my Idahoan mash, which is calorie wise, I think they're lying about the calories, to be honest with you. Because it seems remarkably calorie light, but when I eat it, it's very filling, so I'm not buying what they're selling, what they're telling you. But that's a good thing. I'd rather have more calories, because when you're yomping for like 16-20 miles a day through the mountains, you need all the calories you can get. So I've made up my little bowl here, and I've got my, first of all, I've got to boil up my water for my now I've got to boil up my water for this first, and then while this is settling, while I've got a homemade pouch here, warming pouch, which I can leave that in, and while that's sort of sorting itself out, I can knock up some water to do the mash. So yeah, so we'll see how this goes. But I know getting the water mix is quite important. But I've got the telescopic spoon, which I can use for that, so that's good. I've also I'm on the petrol again tonight, so yeah, a bit of tank petrol, Northern Monk, and I'm freestyling it a little bit, and I've gone with the fruit twist, Northern Monk again, obviously. So so that's what I'm going to be having tonight. I've got some other snacky bits as well, but yeah. So what I'll do is I'm going to get the cooking done. I'll let you know how I get on with these. I'm not going to subject you to making you or expecting you to watch it. I'll eat it and I'll give you my thoughts on this. I've read the reviews seem quite mixed on this, but how bad can it be? I mean, 10-12-year-old expired rations, I've done that, so this isn't going to be worse. And I've got a little bit of Tabasco with me to liven that up as well, so that's all good. So I shall crack on with that, and then I shall bring you back. See you in a bit. Right, welcome back. Just thought I'd go through just a couple of little things that people might be interested in. One of the things was my cook set, which you may or may not have seen before, which is this particular burner is the Maple Buzz, which wasn't expensive at all. I can't remember how much it was, but it was pretty cheap compared to a lot of them. All fold packs down and all the rest of it, and it works perfectly with the Fire Maple Petrol 600, petrol with an E on the end, which basically slots on perfectly on there. It's got a nice heat exchange underneath, and I'll tell you what, this thing boils incredibly quickly. I would say it's quicker in some situations than a jet boil. Absolutely, really, 300 ml of water, which is a common measure for me. It's done like not much more than a minute. It really does boil it really quickly. So yeah, and it packs down really nice little bit of kit that is, and this is the one that I'll be taking on definitely on the Cape Wrath with gas. I might go alcohol stove for coast to coast because the fuel is less critical, but I do like it. I do like using alcohol stoves, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's that. That's the other thing that I take that I haven't seen anybody else use, but people use it different things, don't they? But one of the things that I like to carry with me is some spare these little bulldog clips. Really handy for pegging back, like I've used it here for just this bit is flapping about. You can peg it back. These are really strong, these little bulldog clips, and you can just fold it back. You don't even notice it, and so it's nice and neat and tidy, and that keeps that nice. Now the other thing you can do is you can hang a light anywhere with these. So I've got my flex tail light with a globe on it, on a bulldog clip. I can just basically clip that anywhere, if I can see that is, yeah, so I can just hang that there, which is nice. And also you can use it like in a tent like this, which is not ideal for drying your clothes. You can hang, so if you just want to dry your shreddies and your socks, you can just, as long as it's not really heavy wet clothing, you can use these, clip them pretty much, I could clip one down there, run a line, clip another one up here, and I could have my shreddies and my socks drying overnight, which really works well. So yeah, it's a bit of kit that I definitely advise. They weigh nothing, they're so light and they're much stronger than pegs, and as I say, you can fold them back on themselves as well, and they've got these loops on them, so definitely recommend taking a few of these. The other thing you can use them for is you can clip them under, if you've got a section of a tent that's flapping about a bit, you can clip them on the bottom and stick a peg through them, and use it to just stop the bottom of the tent flapping around. So there's loads of different uses for these. They're really good. So yeah, I recommend those. The other thing I use is these I call them exploding towels. So you've probably seen them. Rather than carry wet wipes, which because they're wet they're heavier, got these little towels. You just make them wet, they explode into a little hand towel. You can use them for wet wipe, wiping yourself down, all the rest of it. In the meantime, they're really light. You can get a pack of 100 and they weigh nothing, so they're a good idea as well. All sorts of things, cleaning pans and stuff, so yeah, I recommend them. Now the other thing is, the observant of you may have noticed, if you've actually gone through the ordeal of watching my previous videos, the axle is not with me, my chair, and I'm trying out this Thermarest trekking chair thing that folds your sleep mat into a chair, and I thought originally they were only designed for Thermarest mats, but I did a bit of research, and I bought the 25 centimetre wide version because I prefer a wider sleeping pad, and this Big Agnes Rapid SL that I've just bought to replace my busted flex tail fits in it perfectly, and it's well comfortable. It's really comfortable, and obviously you get the insulating properties of the mat itself, and you don't have to take it all off when you go to bed. You can just unclip it, straighten your mat out, put a bit more air in it, because you won't get it like this fully inflated, and you can just lie on it, and then in the morning you can just set it up again pretty easy. And it's half the weight of my chair. So Axle is definitely going to be coming with me on my travels at times, but this is excellent, I've got to say. Really comfortable, and it's not too high for me in this tent anyway. My head's just scraping a bit on the top, but it's actually not too bad. I can live with that. And just lean back a bit, and you can actually adjust it to lean back a bit more, or make yourself sit upright a bit more. But yeah, definitely impressed with that. And the weight savings, because I'm always looking to save weight, because I carry and I'm looking at 20 kilogram for the Cape Wrath with the amount of food I'm probably gonna have to carry. I'll try and get it a bit lower, but I'm training with that, and that's another subject for the fireside chat. That is the training that I do, and how I carry, and why I carry heavier weight, and all the rest of it. But yeah, have a chat about that maybe another time. So I've got a specific one tonight. I've got a very specific, number of topics to cover tonight, but yeah, just a few things that I've picked up on watching trekking and hiking YouTube videos, and how that compares to my real world experience of trekking and hiking in grim conditions. I'm not saying I've got the answers to everything, but I'm seeing some people making some bad mistakes because they're buying into something that's not great. So we'll have a talk about that when I've on the fireside chat. But yeah, in terms of going back to my sleeping mat again, I'll tell you now, I'm not going to be recommending Flextail to anybody based on their support so far. I've given them another opportunity to try and redeem themselves, because they're not honouring their guarantee. I bought the mat in April. I was really pleased with the actual mat. Really warm, definitely is a 5.8, I would say. You can really feel the heat reflecting. Good price, but it's failed, and I've been dealing with them, and essentially their customer support, the last email I got leads me to believe it's AI. It was like, someone didn't understand the English language who answered me, and I'm getting fed up now. So I'm basically calling them on it, giving them 2 weeks to give me a satisfactory response. If not, then I'll maybe see where I stand with trading standards and that, because I'm not happy with that. And yeah, so I've told them they've got opportunity to redeem themselves. If they don't, then I'll take it on, because it's just not good enough in this day and age. And they're always spamming me with marketing emails, so you reap what you sow, I'm afraid. And yeah, well, we'll see how that goes, but I'll let people know. But the mat is definitely kaput. I've tried to find the leak, and I can't find it. And so I've only had the mat a matter of months, so they need to sort that out. Yeah, so that's that. So all right, well, that's a little update. I'm gonna have a bit more drink of my petrol, and when I'm ready, I'll bring you back, and we'll do the fireside chat, which I know whoever's watching will be thrilled about that. But yeah, we'll see what I've got to say on a few things, rather than telling you about my new pillow. Okay, I'll catch you in a bit. Right, good evening. So, time for tonight's fireside chat. So, got the fire. There you are, fire's lit, nice and toasty, ready to go. So tonight's fireside chat, I'm going to give you some information that some will some will research and benefit from this. Some people will dismiss it. I've already experienced this many times. I totally know how this goes. Okay, so it's up to you at the end of the day. It's the old lead. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to give you some disclaimers, and it's up to you what you do with it. But just listen to what I tell you, and at the end I'll put a QR code. Once I've recorded this, I'll put a QR code up there, 1 or 2 QR codes for you to go and verify what I'm telling you. Okay, and it's up to you to do the rest. Okay, but just know that I believe what I'm saying. Okay, well, I know it to be true, but as I say, some people, the cognitive dissonance with people, some people is so great they can't accept certain things. So let's see. Anyway, so I'm not a doctor, never been a doctor, never worked in the medical profession. I'm not making any claims with regards to the big C. I'm just going to give you some information, and it's up to you what you do with it. But so let me just give you my health credentials. So I became quite health conscious because my father died at 50, heart attack. My grandfather died at 60, heart attack. So I was told, oh, heart conditions are genetic in your family. And I've come to learn that's a lie. They're not. Okay, and I don't believe the genetic side of things that we're told, you know, this excuse that, oh, it's genetics. It's bullshit as far as I'm concerned. That's my experience of it. My heart, there's nothing wrong with my heart. I'm as strong as an ox. I walk at least once a week. I walk a good few miles, carrying a significant amount of weight without really any effort, without too much effort anyway. I'm 59 years old. So just to bolster that, and this is not me boasting or anything, these are just facts. I'm just going to give you some facts. So I'm not registered with a GP. The only time you'll ever see me in a hospital or near a doctor is if I've broken something, like an arm or leg, or been in a road traffic accident. It's the only time that I would engage with the medical system. I've not seen a doctor in 11 years. I don't generally get ill, and there's a whole other range of topics I could go into on that. But it's a vast subject. But trust me, I've conducted a lot of research, and I laugh when I hear people, like as we had in the last few years, about don't do your own research. What? Isn't that what being educated is all about? You know, they're people who are trying to control you who tell you that. I'm smart enough to work things out for myself. I don't have to know everything about everything. I just have to have a brain, be able to think critically and work things out. So I'm going to give you some tips, some health tips here, and it's up to you what you do with them. You can completely ignore them, disregard them. You can do what you like with them, but they're tried and tested, I can tell you this much. So onto my first aid kit. Right, so this is my first aid pouch. You can see that okay. And at first glance it's a standard first aid pouch. I've got conforming bandage, I've got the usual stuff like tick pullers. I've got some quercetin in there. Highly recommend if you get that. If you ever feel a cold or anything coming on, take quercetin with vitamin C. That'll sort you out. Got some diorolite, which is the only pharmaceutical product that I take. Quercetin isn't really a pharmaceutical product. I've got some other bits and bobs in there. Alright, some antacids is the other thing, is the only other thing that I might take sometimes. Right, so that's in that bag. I've got some other bits and pieces, some swabs, and you know, so that's kind of like your standard first aid kit, little bandages. I've got a bag for foot powder in there. So this is kind of what I would call your standard thing that a lot of people carry, this sort of thing. Some plasters in there and that sort of thing. So that's that, right? Then we'll come on to the things that most other people don't carry. So I carry extra, and I'll tell you why I carry extra, because when I've done through hiking, I always come across someone who hasn't got something or hasn't got certain knowledge. I've helped people out with Compede, with aches and pains using something else that I carry that I'll come on to. So I carry extra because I know that I'm going to come across other people who either haven't got the experience or didn't think about something. So that's why I do that. So that's the basic first aid kit. Now, first thing that I come on to is I carry this. This is Celtic sea salt. This has got every essential mineral that you could possibly, your body needs. So when we hike and trek, I mean, you sweat a lot. I did the Camino Costa last year, and that was 28 degrees most days. So I was carrying a bag 15 kilogram plus. Started about 18. I got rid of some weight because I was just stupid the way I packed it. So I got rid of some stuff, but still 15 kilograms. And on one day I did 26 miles. So that's going to you're going to sweat an awful lot of salts out. Now I know people buy these tablets, and I look at them, they've got various bits of caffeine and God knows what in them. Celtic sea salt is all you need. When you replane your water, just take a big pinch of this and put it in. It doesn't taste like normal salt. In fact, it actually tastes quite nice. You can actually just put it straight on your tongue. But mix that in with your water every time you replane your water, and you'll never have to worry. I saw people on the Costa were struggling, getting headaches and all the rest of it, and they kept drinking water because they thought drinking water was what the problem was. Your body tells you to drink water. It isn't just the water it needs, it's the mineral salts. And experienced people know this, but what they tend to do is they go and buy all these expensive tablets, or maybe they're not so expensive. This is all you need, Celtic sea salt. Trust me on that. That's all I take, and I don't suffer with any of that. I mean, there's a reason why dogs lick you when you're sweating. It's because they're after the salt that's coming out, your body salts. They're not stupid dogs. But yeah, this is all you need. So that goes with me when I do my water, particularly in hot weather. I'll make sure that I chuck some of that in. I can take it on my tongue if I want. It's great. It's good stuff. A kilogram of Celtic sea salt is about 11 quid. That lasts you for ages. So definitely get some of that. The next thing I take is this, and you're wondering what this is. You can see it in there. Well, yeah, see that in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's pure virgin coconut oil, and this has some amazing qualities. It's fantastic for your skin. If you get dry skin, if you get chafing anywhere, any skin issues, it has, I don't like to use the word antibacterial, but it has properties that basically will, I even use it. So I got, and it's not uncommon as you get older, I got nail issues, like fungal nail issues, and it's murder to get rid of, absolutely murder to get rid of. It's just something that seems to happen. I think it's part diet and all the rest of it. I put coconut oil on my nails every day. It's cleared it up. You have to do it for an extended period of time. This stuff is amazing. You can use it you can even eat it. So for emergency calories, you can eat that. You can use it for cooking. It's far better than seed oils and all that crap that they put in everything. Coconut oil is way better. It can cope with high heat and all the rest of it. So I carry this. The other thing, my experience of it is, I always burnt quite a lot when I was younger. I had sunburn, my skin's fairly light and that. If I put coconut oil on my skin, I don't get sunburn. I'm not a scientist, I can't tell you why. I suspect it's the stuff that's in this, but if I regularly because I regularly, when I've shaved in the morning, I just put some coconut oil on my face. That's the only thing I use. My face never gets burnt. I never get that thing with a sore nose, which I used to get before I used it. I don't get any of that. This stuff is amazing, trust me. I would not put sun cream on my skin if you paid me. Go and read the ingredients of sun cream. I see hikers all the time. I've got this sun cream and I've got this. The stuff that people wonder why they get sick, why they get cancer. They don't pay any attention to what they're putting on their body or in their body. Go and have a look at the ingredients of sun cream. Skin cancer is a modern disease. It is not an old disease. People didn't used to get skin cancer. Go and have a look at the ingredients in sun cream. I wouldn't touch that stuff. I wouldn't even give it to my worst enemy. To be fair, I don't think I've got any enemies, but maybe someone can like me on that, but you know what I mean. So that's a top tip for you. Get the virgin coconut oil. It's cheap. You can get a kilogram again. It's about 10 or 11 quid for what it was the last time I bought it, and it lasts forever. You can melt it. Just get a load, put it in a jar, put it in a pan of hot water. It turns to liquid. Pour it into whatever container you want. I mean, I made the mistake of this one. The temperature was still a bit hot. I mean, it hasn't broken it or anything. It's just a bit mangled, but I've got a whole lot here. I'll take this with me, and as I say, this is emergency food, let alone anything else. It just works for so many things. People use Vaseline they use this instead. This is better for you. Your skin eats this stuff up. Use it on your feet. Use it when you chafe. If you've got any issues, this will get rid of it. I promise you, it's brilliant stuff. So that's coconut oil. So that's the other thing. Now the other thing I've got here is what they call DMSO. This is dimethyl sulfoxide. It's at a strength of 70%. So you can buy this on eBay, Amazon, buy a 99% strength bottle, and then you dilute it from there. There are books on this. I will put a QR code with a link to a book all about DMSO and the amazing things it can do. It originates from pulp production. It essentially comes from wood, and it's DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide. This can be used for loads of things you would never dream it could be used of. It's a solvent. I'll give an example. On the Camino last year, I was staying at albergues and hostels. It was my accommodation. An American lady came in, and I bumped into her a few times, and she was struggling, and one of her knees was really swollen up, and she was talking to me, and she said, "I've tried everything, nothing's working, I'm really struggling." And I said, "Well, I've got something you might want to try," and it was this, dimethyl sulfoxide. I said, "Do you want to," I explained it to her, I said, "Do you want to try it?" And she said, "Yeah, okay then." I said, "Well, here's the bottle, here's what you do with it, just rub it into your knee, you'll get itching for about 10-15 minutes, and then it should ease the pain, and it'll sink into you. Just make sure your skin's clean when you put it on." Anyway, I gave her the bottle. Next morning she came out and gave me the bottle back. She said, "Wow," she said, "that really worked." She said, "That's the first thing I've used that worked." And I was really pleased, and I said to her, I said, "Well, keep it then." And she said, "What?" I said, "Well, I don't need it." I said, I took it because when you're hiking long distances and you're carrying a large pack, the first few days your shoulders get sore. And I took it in case I did have any knee problems. I didn't have any knee problems. My legs are generally pretty strong. And I was over any issues. I was into my stride, so there was no problem. I was well over halfway. And I said, you have it. I said, because I'm not going to need it. And I don't say that because I'm a virtue signaler or anything like that. It's just what you should do, really. I didn't need it, so I could manage without it. And she desperately did need it, and she was really, really pleased. Coincidentally, that lady was a Christian as well, and she gave me a big hug and everything, which was really nice. And again, that's why I carry stuff. Sometimes I don't need it, but if you can help someone else, that's what you should do. And so yeah, dimethyl sulfoxide. Right, now the piece de la resistance is this. Right, I don't know if you can see these. You probably can't because it's quite dark in here, but these two bottles, they say chlorine dioxide 1 and chlorine dioxide 2, and they're produced by Life Systems. So chlorine dioxide, as far as most people know, can be used for lots of things like water. This is for water purification, and it is used for washing salads. It is used in hospitals. It is used all sorts of applications, but it is far more powerful than anyone will ever let you know. And the phrase you need to remember here is, the dose is the poison. I'll just say that again, the dose is the poison. Now, these bottles, I bought this original chlorine dioxide, but I emptied these bottles straight away. The reason being is these weren't the correct strength. They were strong enough to purify water, but they weren't strong enough for what I wanted it for, which wasn't for water purification, although it can be used for that, obviously. I put my own chlorine dioxide in this, and you've got part 1 and part 2. One part is sodium chlorite, one part is hydrochloric acid. And before anybody goes all weak at the knees about hydrochloric acid, your body makes hydrochloric acid, your stomach makes it at the strength of 4%. And what it's used is an activator. So you've got this little cup here. You pour, depending on what you want to do with it, you pour 1, 2 or 3 drops of part 1, and then the same of part 2, and that will produce a gas, chlorine dioxide, where it's a liquefied gas. You dilute that with water, and then you can use it topically, you can use it orally, okay, if you know what you're doing. And I do know what I'm doing with this. And
So here's where I have to be careful. So I'm not advising you to do anything. I'm not advising you to take it. I'm not advising you to take it orally. I'm not telling you it could do anything. But rumour has it that, and there are thousands of testimonials, that has been used to cure all sorts of things, especially orally, especially when taken over a period of time. There are very few conditions it hasn't been used to cure. And there's a whole story behind this. So the question you will be asking is, well, how do I not know about this? Well, why is it, you know, if it's so good, if it does all these things, why isn't it used widespread? You know, well, what I would say to that is, who do you think the most corrupt organisations in the world are? Well, I can tell you as a fact that they're pharmaceutical companies. Go and have a look and see which company has the largest corporate fine in American history. I think you'll find it's a company that begins with a P, PF, and rhymes with Tizer. Okay? Now that's a fact. Look at the history and look at what they've been fined for. And those fines are just a drop in the ocean. So they have a vested interest in you not knowing about this. I can tell you now for a fact NASA knows about this. People high up in the so-called elite or the parasite class, they all know about this, and they know what it can do. Now, me personally, I use it for everything. I don't ever need to go and see a doctor. I don't get ill. If I feel anything coming on, I know how to use this and I know how to make myself well again. And I'll give you an example. So I'm just going to lay my cards on the table here. I don't believe in germ theory, and the clue's in the title. It's a theory. Okay, that's what you've all been told to believe, and I used to believe it. But my research tells me otherwise. I believe in terrain theory, which is a completely different theory. There's a whole history behind this. These were competing theories, but one you could make a lot of money out of, and one you couldn't. I'll let you decide. I'll let you guess which one is which. But anyway, so on my Camino, as is often the case when we travel, we're going to we go on a plane, breathing in foul air. We get into a new environment with different food, different water, different everything, and our body will sometimes go into what they call a detox. And on my second day on the Camino, I had a really long, hard day in the sun on the boardwalk, and I feel myself started getting cold and flu symptoms. So I was getting sniffles and all the rest of it. I was really struggling. And then just to cap it all off, I got an email from my accommodation saying, oh, we've overbooked and we've cancelled your room. I'm like, great. I really just needed to get somewhere. So I prayed. I did pray, and I got to the town that I was meant to be going to. It was the end of my walk, and I was hanging out my backside, I can assure you. And I remember walking down this road, and I was just praying to God. I was like, I just want a hotel. I just want somewhere to get my head down, just to recover. And I walked, and I you know, as God is my witness, I walked, and 200 or 300 yards down the road, on the right hand side, there's a hotel. I went in there. They were open. I went to the counter, and the woman booked me in, got me in, and got me into this room. So I went up there. I had a shower, and I mixed myself up, knowing how to use it. So I mixed myself up a dose, and it was what they would call a heroic dose. And I was also taking it in my water as well, because you can do that. I took a heroic dose, and I went into what they call a Herxheimer reaction, which is basically you get bilious, nauseous, you know, sweats, and it's like a shock treatment. And I had my head down the toilet. I didn't actually vomit, so I was there for about 10-15 minutes, just letting it pass. It passed. I got on the bed, and I was out for 5 hours. I was just completely out of it. And then I woke up, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I feel hungry. Now, when you're ill, you never feel hungry. Not like that. I was ravenous, and I thought, well, that's a good sign. So I got up, had another shower, and I thought, yeah, I feel all right. And I went, and I found a place. I managed to find a place. They knocked me out some ribs. They'd sold out chicken and everything, so they just knocked me out these really greasy garlic ribs and chips, and I just went and devoured the ribs, and I was okay. And the next day I was back on it, and so this got me out of jail massively, and that's how powerful it is. But you've got to know how to use it. Now, as I say, I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm not making any claims. But I can tell you now, go and do your research on chlorine dioxide. Don't use Google, don't bother, because if you haven't worked it out yet, search engines tell you what they want you to see, not what they... I mean, talk about misinformation. Do not bother Googling chlorine dioxide. You'll get told it's bleach and it's all sorts of things. Well, alcohol can be bleach. Go and chuck some vodka on your carpet and tell me how that works out. So yeah, if you mix this in a certain way, yeah, you can make it bleach things if you want to, but you don't have to. The dose is the poison, I'm telling you. So I will put a link up to a documentary about this that you will not find on YouTube, you will not find in certain places because it's hidden from you, and it's very well done, and it will take you on a journey if you choose to. I can tell you now, I wouldn't be without this stuff. They don't want you to know about it. You can buy it in this really weakened form for water purification, but I mean, I always carry. This is much stronger than what it says in the bottle, but I carry it with me because I'll tell you what I can do with it. I can purify water with it. I can drink it. I can if I'm ill, I can use it to medicate and to heal myself. No problem. Done it many times. I can use it to sterilise things. So I could, if I want to have a stripped down bath, I don't need soap. I'll just knock up some warm water, put some chlorine dioxide in it, use some of my exploding towels, give myself a wash. That will kill anything that shouldn't be on me. I can tell you now. It is incredible stuff. The uses of it are just unbelievable. There's a whole history about it. So I'll put some QR codes up, and I strongly advise you to go and look it up. And if anybody's got any questions, just email me. If anybody wants to know a bit more, just email me. As I say, I'm not advising you to do anything. I'm not making any claims. I'm just saying to you, you might want to know about this. This was something that I've been on a journey, and I believe God pointed me in the direction of this. And in fact, it was the people who cottoned on to this, and there's a whole story behind it, were Christians. And there's some guys actually. The authorities went after them because they were producing it and trying to help people with it, and the authorities went after them. That's the type of world we live in. But you just need to do some research, and you can get it, and you can make it yourself if you know what you're doing. So I would suggest you go and do some research. So that chlorine dioxide it's got nothing to do with chlorine, or it's got the scientific explanation has an extra oxygen molecule. So how it works in your body is, if you take it orally, it basically anything that's toxic in your body has. We're electrical beings. We have positive and negative charges in our body, molecules. Chlorine dioxide essentially robs toxic molecules of an atom and zaps them essentially. So there's a scientific method. I'm not explaining it very well, but you can get books on it. There are books if you know where to look. I've got books, and I know where to find them. So if anybody wants to know more, I strongly advise you do, particularly the way the health service is now, which I have no faith in whatsoever, and I don't go near it if I can help it. So that's it really. This you can choose to believe me or not. I've had really good friends who they're not capable of accepting the information I've given them. The other thing I get is people want me to prescribe to them, and I'm like, I'm not prescribing it to you. I'll tell you about it, and I'll tell you how you can help yourself. And I have helped people to learn about it, but I'm not a doctor, and I'm not. It's something you have to learn about yourself, and something you have to know how to take, and all the rest of it. And I did it. Anyone can do it, but unfortunately, people, so they use the medical system. They've abdicated responsibility for their own health. I'm the opposite. I've taken responsibility for my own health. I've paid a fortune into the national health over the years. I've paid loads of tax and national insurance, I'm I don't take from that system. I pay into it because it's pensions and all the rest of it. I don't have a choice, but I don't have private healthcare or anything. I don't need it. I know what I need to do, and anyone can do what I've done, and some do. There's an organisation of doctors called COMUSAV, COMUSAV. Look them up. They use this. They use it in Bolivia during COVID, inverted commas. They legalised it. That's a fact. You can, the media will lie to you about this, but that's a fact. You can go and check it out. All right, it was used. So, yeah, I wouldn't touch ivermectin or any of that stuff. This is my go-to for everything, and it works. And DMSO, and as I say, I'll put these are what I carry in my first aid kit. So if you ever do bump into me, I'll happily have a chat with you about it. Little bottle of DMSO, chlorine dioxide, part A, part B, little mixing cup. I'm good. I've got a little spray bottle as well that so I can use it. It can be used for burns, all sorts. So just double check I've got my spray bottle in here. So I mix up a little solution, and I can spray it onto any bites or anything. I've got super glue for cuts. Sure, I've got a spray bottle in here. It's only a little thin one. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, I've got this little bottle here. So I can make up a solution of chlorine dioxide, put it on there, and I know how to make the right strength for the right different things, because there's a whole load of protocols. And yeah, if I burnt myself, it's amazing for burns. It will clean any wound washing. So I don't need to carry any of that stuff. Any, I don't need to hand sanitizer. I can make my own up and just with chlorine dioxide. I don't need any of that. So it's such a versatile thing that yeah, I can't recommend it enough, or at least that you research it. And as I say, I make no claims, but there's some impressive testimonies out there about chlorine dioxide, trust me. And I've witnessed its restorative powers as well with other people. So yeah. So as I say, if you've got any questions, feel free to email me. Better that than commenting. Yeah, just send me an email and I'll point you in the right direction, and hopefully you'll find the QR codes. You can just point your phone at and you can go to the where you need to go. And I strongly recommend that you watch what I link to, because it's powerful, and it should open your eyes. I find it really sad when people, I've had someone, I prepared some USB sticks and gave them to people. I've had someone just hand one back to me, and they said to me, someone, a long time friend, someone who just basically said, I'm not buying it. And I'm like, what are you not buying? What is it about the testimonies you don't understand? It's just, some people just can't cope with it, can't cope with that information. That something so powerful could be hidden from them, but that's the world we live in. So yeah, so that's tonight's fireside chat. Hopefully, it's the greatest gift I could give anybody, to be honest with you, apart from faith in God. Chlorine dioxide comes second to that, I would say. So yeah, do look it up and do contact me if you need to. And okay, so I think it's time to turn the fire off. Time for me to start getting sorted for bed, and I'll catch you again in the morning. Right, campers, all packed up. I'm not going to say it. You all know the drill. I'm not a member of the Borg. Okay, you're all adults. I'll give you a 360 in a minute. And then it's time to GTFOH and get back to my car. So I'll just give you a 360 of what I can see now.
Well, hopefully that worked. The sun's a bit bright. I'm still getting used to this camera, but I'll get my bogan on, get walking, and I'll bring you back. Right, so back on the trail. I've just come from up the top there, Mount Doom. That's where I spent the night. Now walking back down. Got a couple of miles to go probably. I just got to say, when I packed down, something very weird going on. I worked really hard with my Leatherman, which is covered in slime, to get rid of all the slugs around my tent. Packing down, cleared all my stuff out, and I found a slug in the middle of my tent. And you know, with slugs you get like a trail. The trail just started in the middle of the tent. Now, I don't know, you know, I'm beginning to wonder if they've got some strange sort of teleporting ability, these Welsh slugs. I know what you're thinking, oh, the daft bugger, he's brought it in on something. I'm not so sure. You've got to watch these Welsh slugs, but they were everywhere. But I guess that's the rain we've had. Yeah, that's today's conspiracy theory for you. Teleporting Welsh slugs. They're everywhere. They're watching you. They'll turn up when you least expect it. So there you go. So yeah, it's a nice stretch here. There are plenty of places to wild camp. The other thing I thought I'd better mention before someone mentions it in the comments, if anyone is watching obviously, before anybody says, why have you got one of those satellite things, you big Jesse? I'm like, this isn't for me, okay? I quite need to go anywhere without one of these, but my missus, bless her, she likes to know I'm all right and I'm safe. So I've got one of these Spot satellite things off of eBay, second hand, 50 quid, in really good condition. So I'm just trying it out now. I mean, to be fair, you do lose mobile signal around here on a lot of the coast path. The phone drops out. So it is quite a handy thing to have, and I've been testing it. I checked in last night. She got a text message, everything's all right. I mean, for Cape Wrath, I would suggest, yes, if you're doing it on your own, then it's a wise thing to carry. I mean, this is the Spot Generation 3, which is already been superseded, but one of the things I like about it is it takes ordinary batteries, AAA's, so you don't ever need to worry, if you carry a spare set of batteries, about this thing crapping out on you. I have seen some videos where people have said about the Garmin InReach, they've gone to use it on the Cape Wrath and it's crapped out on them, and I've not seen anything with these. These seem to be well established, seem to be used for skiing and all sorts. So it's a solid bit of gear, simpler. You don't get any weather forecast. Well, yeah, okay, I suppose a weather forecast would be handy, but I'm sure the weather in Scotland is just like it is here, and it can just change on a drop of a hat. So you just got to be geared up to be prepared for whatever the weather throws at you, and I definitely make sure I am. So you know, put my trust in God, pray before I go, and it's all good. But yeah, so that's for the wife really, not for me. If she's happy wife, happy life, you know the drill. So so I'm okay with that. It's not that heavy, so, you know, it was 120 grams or something like that with batteries in it. So yeah, so that's the Spot Gen 3. I may do a review on it when I've used it a bit more. I mean, yesterday I forgot to set it to tracking, so I've set it up to ping my location every 30 minutes, which is more than good enough. and saves on battery life. You can do it right down to 2.5 minutes if you want to pay for it, but don't see the point of that. But I forgot to put the tracking in motion yesterday, and it switches itself off after a couple of minutes if you don't have that on, so that wouldn't be ideal, to be fair. Yeah, it's flashing away there, so so yeah, lesson learned, and this is the time to learn those lessons, you know, when I'm bimbling about here. But yeah, so I'll crack on and I'll bring you back in a bit. Well, I did it. My first proper walk pass. I feel like I've arrived now. I feel like I can call myself a YouTuber. I don't know about influencer. But, yeah, I did one yesterday, but I had the camera set up wrong and I could div, and yeah, that wasn't great. So in fact, the early footage from yesterday, when I'm walking in, I had the camera set up 2 different modes, put the wrong mode on. Should have been on 360, was in 180, and I'll check the footage, but yeah, I'll probably bin those. So yeah, still getting used to this 360 camera. It's a great bit of kit, but it's a whole different world to my normal looking through a DSLR or mirrorless camera. But yeah, quite enjoying it. Okay, so I'll crack on. Right, I'm coming in towards my destination. I just needed to clarify something about the fireside chat. The topic that I was going to talk about didn't happen last night, and I went on to something which I felt was far more important, to be fair. You got to remember, I've got all these topics backed up in my Homer Simpson sized brain, and it's basically whatever falls out at the time. But next week's is going to be spicy, and I'm going to stick to the exact topic on that one because it's important, and I need to prepare for that one. So yeah, so just to let you know on that one. Alright, back again. I had to stop recording. There was a couple coming. I'm not quite at the I don't give a monkey stage where other people are concerned, and actually I hope I never am, but yeah, so I'd cut out on that one. The other thing I forgot to mention was the Summit to Eat meal. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. I wasn't starving hungry. I wasn't at the hangry stage where I would fight Mike Tyson to get to a meal. So I had it, and had that typical preservative chemically taste to it. It's okay. And I've no doubt after 20 miles I would have devoured it without second thought. So yeah, the Summit to Eat bolognese, 6 out of 10 for me. I've heard the is it the real Terra are the ones to get, albeit you pay through the nose for them. I will give them a try. I mean, at the end of the day, what's the difference? A few quid difference when you're starving hungry and you're in the middle of nowhere. It's not going to bother me, so we shall see. I'll probably order one, try it, and let you know. So yeah, that was the meal last night, and the Idahoan mash, the calorie cheats as I call them, did what it always does. Hits the spot. I reckon with a single bag you can get 2 meals out of that easy, probably 3 at a stretch, but for me it's probably 2. So 7 bags of that will supplement the calories quite nicely on a long through hike, so I should be continuing with that, and it's very easy to prepare. So yeah, so next camp out, I'll find another location, and the fireside chat, yeah, will be a bit of a spicy one, but I don't talk about anything without having done my due diligence, so we shall see what people think on that one. So for now, as I head back into my vehicle, you've been watching Land Solo. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of the similar thing, I try and put one out every week, and do the usual, like and subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's fine too. And I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Oh, God bless as well.